His wife said, "If you don't trust me hanging out with my ex every weekend, maybe we should divorce." What he did next breaks her. "If you don't trust me hanging out with my ex every weekend, maybe we should divorce." Those were the devastating words Jenna hurled at her husband like she was discarding trash. Confident that her beauty, her options, and her rich ex-boyfriend made her bulletproof in their marriage. She had no idea that the quiet man she'd been cheating on for months had already begun orchestrating something that would change both their lives forever. What happened next will make you question everything you think you know about trust, betrayal, and the dangerous game of taking someone's loyalty for granted. Viewers, what will you do if your wife said those words to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The plates were still warm on the table when Cole Harrington pulled out his phone. The glow of the screen lit up his tired eyes as he scrolled through updates from colleagues, old classmates, neighbors. And then he stopped. There she was, Jenna, his wife, his partner of 3 years, smiling in a way she hadn't smiled at him in months. Her hair loose, head tilted back in laughter. And beside her, arms slung casually but too close around her waist, was Ryan Brooks. The ex she once swore was her past. The caption beneath the photo was harmless on the surface. "Great night catching up with old friends." But Cole's gut knew better. The way Ryan's hand rested on her hip wasn't friendship. The way her body leaned toward him wasn't nostalgia. It was something else. Something Cole had feared but never dared to confront. He set the phone down slowly. His palms were damp. He waited until Jenna came back from the kitchen, drying her hands with a dish towel, humming some pop song like nothing was wrong. She sat across from him, her eyes flicking to his phone for just a second, then back up at his face. "Jenna," Cole said, his voice steady though his heart pounded. "I'm not comfortable with this, with you spending so much time with Ryan. Every weekend it's the same thing, he's your ex. It doesn't sit right with me." The humming stopped. Jenna tilted her head, studying him like he was some clueless stranger who had just said the wrong thing at a dinner party. Then her lips curved, not an apology but in a smirk. "If you don't trust me hanging out with my ex every weekend," she said, her tone sharp as glass, "maybe we should just divorce." The words hit the room like a slap. The ticking clock on the wall suddenly sounded louder. Cole blinked, searching her face for some sign she was joking, but Jenna's eyes glowed with something colder than anger, contempt. And as if that wasn't enough, she leaned back in her chair, crossed her arms, and delivered the line that would sear itself into his memory forever. "If Ryan hadn't gone broke back then, do you think I'd have married you? He's everything you're not. Now he's rich again, and he wants me back." The room spun. His chest felt tight, like air itself had turned heavy. He wanted to scream, to ask her how she could say that after all he'd sacrificed, after the nights he stayed up helping her with bills, after the time he'd turned down that overseas promotion just so they could stay close to family. But Cole didn't scream. He didn't beg. He didn't even raise his voice. He looked at her for a long, long moment. Then he nodded once and whispered one word. "Okay." Jenna's smirk widened. She thought he was defeated. She thought his silence was weakness. She pushed her chair back, scoffed, and walked away, humming again like she had won. Cole sat there, staring at the phone screen, her laughter frozen in that photo. But deep inside, something in him shifted. A steel thread pulled tight. She thought she had broken him. She had no idea she had just lit a fire that would burn her entire world down. That night, long after Jenna had gone to bed, Cole sat in his study, the house quiet except for the ticking clock. His fingers hovered over his laptop keys as he pulled up an old email. To Mr. Carter, Regional Director. Subject, Overseas Transfer. If the position you once offered is still available, I'd like to accept. Please advise on next steps. He hit send. The glow of the screen reflected in his eyes, not tired now, but alive. The game had just begun. The house was silent when the email notification appeared. Cole leaned closer, the screen's glow catching the edge of his glasses. "Cole?" The overseas transfer is still open. The Singapore office is ready to bring you in as Regional Director of IT Infrastructure. Salary package doubled, housing provided, relocation covered, departure within 1 month. Please confirm. He stared at it for a long moment. This was the very offer he had turned down once before, choosing Jenna over career, choosing stability over ambition. That night at the dining table replayed in his mind, the smirk, the contempt, the casual cruelty of her words. He clicked reply. Confirmed. Send me the paperwork. No hesitation, no second thoughts. The first stone of his escape was set. Friday evening. Jenna appeared in the doorway, silver dress clinging to her figure, perfume swirling through the air. She checked herself once in the mirror, smoothed her hair and grabbed her purse. Don't wait up, she said, already half turned toward the door. Cole closed his laptop, eyes steady on her. Have fun? For the briefest second, her eyes searched his face. She expected jealousy, protest, something to show he cared enough to fight. But his expression gave her nothing. She smirked and left, her heels tapping against the hardwood until the house fell quiet again. Cole sat still, listening to the echo fade. The sound no longer hurt. It fueled him. He picked up his phone and dialed his lawyer. I want divorce papers drawn, he said evenly. Quiet filing. Don't serve them until I instruct you. The lawyer agreed. No questions. Cole ended the call, leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes. Silence stretched around him. To Jenna, his calm looked like surrender, but Cole knew better. Silence was simply the mask of a storm, one she would never see coming until it tore her world apart. Midweek, the contract landed in his inbox. Official, final, departure date marked in bold, 4 weeks. Cole downloaded the file, signed digitally, and returned it within minutes. His chest felt lighter, like a chain had snapped. This time he wasn't turning it down. That night, he opened a drawer in his study. Inside were their financial records, statements, deeds, credit card bills. He flipped through them carefully, his thumb pressing against the embossed paper. Numbers stared back at him, each one telling the story of years of sacrifice he had made to keep Jenna comfortable. Vacations she wanted, her boutique investment, bills he carried alone. The sight didn't bring regret. It brought clarity. This wouldn't be just an exit. It would be a lesson. The weekends became clockwork. Friday nights she left. Sunday nights she returned. And in between, the world outside saw her glowing, laughing in rooftop photos, glasses of wine in hand, Ryan's shadow always near. Cole watched from the sidelines. Her own husband turned into an afterthought. He didn't argue. He didn't demand explanation.